Photographers often ask me, how do I grow my business? How do I get more clients? How do I make more money? How do I break through into a new market? Well, in today's free business mini course, I'm going to give you an actionable blueprint, a roadmap you can follow to get you to where you want to be. Whether you're a new photographer who's just starting out or an experienced photographer who feels like they've hit a plateau in their business, there is something in this mini course for everybody. Now, before we begin, make sure that you save this page or go ahead and subscribe so that you don't lose track of this course. And you can come back and reference it whenever you feel like you need a little refresher on your business. Now, without further ado, let's begin. There are only two ways to make more money: get more clients or charge more. If time is money and there's only so much time in a day, then there's only so many clients you can have. There also becomes a point where your increase in clients results in a decrease in your output quality. With that being said, the most ideal way to make more money is to charge more per project. It is common to think that the only way to charge more is to improve your work quality and upgrade your gear. But what if I told you that you could charge more right now, regardless of your skill level? In recent years, I've heard a lot of assumptions and pain points about the product photography industry from both new and experienced photographers. One of the biggest assumptions being product photography is oversaturated, and this is why it's hard to get clients. Did you know that on average, 4.7 million new US businesses are registered every year? That doesn't even account for the other millions of companies created abroad. Here are a few more statistics relating to the beauty and cosmetic industry to really drive this point home. The beauty industry generates over $100 billion in revenue worldwide, and the men's personal care market alone is projected to hit $276.9 billion by 2030. This makes product photography more valuable now than it has ever been, meaning that you getting clients now is also easier than it has ever been. That is, if you know how to do it. For all of my experienced photographers in this course, I need you to take a step back from your business and imagine yourself as a new photographer again. In order for our strategies to help you scale, you need to reevaluate your business from the ground up with an open mind. By the end of this free mini course, I encourage you to reflect and ask yourself, if I were starting over with the insights I gained, would I do anything differently in my business today? It can sometimes be harder for established photographers to make the time to implement changes, but if you're ready to put in the work, I can guarantee you clients on the other side. My name is Brittany, and I'll be your instructor throughout this course. Before we begin, let me tell you a bit about my journey with product photography. In 2020, I graduated from university with a marketing degree, but with the entire world on lockdown, I had to get creative with my source of income. This led to me dabbling in real estate, becoming a server, and finally discovering the world of product photography. Within the first 3 months of going full-time into photography, Ryan put his business ventures to the side to pursue this passion alongside me. And now, for the past several years, we've been sharing our creative journey with other photographers to help them reach success in their businesses as well. In my early product photography days, I had 4 to 5 times the number of clients that we have now. And though this sounds like a good thing, it wasn't healthy to stay up until 2 a.m. editing, sacrificing my weekends for photo shoots, or reinvesting all of my income into props for a variety of industries I tackled. Through countless hours of research, courses, and good old trial and error, I finally found a formula that allowed us to selectively cut back on our client base, triple what we charged per image, and give us back an abundance of free time in our personal lives. And today, we are going to start breaking down this framework. This mini course is split up into 5 easily digestible chapters covering how your niche affects income, profit or purpose, designing a brand that sells, the strategy for getting new clients, what to charge for your work, and how to charge more for your work. We also have a few free templates and resources sprinkled within the lessons. With that being said, let's jump into the free course, 5 days to 6 figures. Welcome to day 2 of being a 6-figure photographer. In this series of lessons, we will be breaking down the difference between a niche and an industry and discovering how to find the right clients to drive income. A lot of product photographers struggle to create a sustainable business because they do not focus on a niche. Instead, they are running around like a chicken with their head cut off trying to find freelance jobs in all sorts of industries. Focus on a niche, not an industry. But what is the difference between a niche and an industry? Let's use cosmetics for an example. The cosmetic industry includes everything related to beauty products like makeup, skincare, and hair care. In this sense, Makeup, skincare, and hair care are the niches within the beauty industry. But let's see how we can niche down even more from here. Instead of showcasing images for all skincare companies, you will target earthy skincare brands dedicated to sustainability. Now with this niche, there is a certain style of product associated with it. Their packaging is often minimalistic, modern, and neutral. This takes your portfolio from this to this. Now, when a modern skincare brand views your portfolio, they immediately know that you will be the perfect photographer for their brand. This is because their brand looks similar to the brand shown on your portfolio, making it easier for them to envision how you will make their products look. This is what I like to call a high converting portfolio. We'll dive more into the characteristics of this in just a moment. It is important to note that when I say niche down, that doesn't mean turn away jobs that are outside of your niche. It just means to not highlight them on your portfolio unless there is an intentional purpose behind it. Let's take a look at the portfolio featured on our current website homepage and go over the intentional story that we're trying to tell. To start off, we are targeting primarily beauty brands, but have shown that we are also capable of working with other industries, as shown through our Jack Daniels and Echoes images. We also wanted to highlight our photography advantages, one of those being hand modeling. Ryan and I thankfully have nice hands, which allows us to create more dynamic lifestyle type images. I would encourage you to showcase dynamic images in which every shot feels different and not repetitive. Looking at our portfolio, there are different camera angles, color palettes, and set designs for the images we chose to showcase. So what are some characteristics that you should consider when designing your high converting portfolio? Quality content, of course. Your portfolio should feature your best and most impactful work. This means showcasing high quality images that demonstrate your skills and style. Clear focus. Define your niche or specialty within product photography. You don't need to describe this in words. Instead, just highlight specific niches that you excel in through the images you feature, whether it's skincare, cosmetics, food, sports drinks, etc. This helps potential clients understand what you offer. Compelling presentation. Organize your portfolio in a visually appealing and user-friendly manner. Use a clean layout that allows your images to stand out without distractions. It's not always about showing the most amount of images, it's about showing ones that are relevant and have a strong impact. Show variety in your work while maintaining a cohesive aesthetic. Demonstrate your versatility by displaying different types of products and settings while ensuring there's a unified style or theme that ties everything together. You don't want a bunch of neutrals and then one hot pink image. Regular updates. Keep your portfolio current by regularly updating it with your latest and best work. Stale portfolios give the impression that you're not actively working or improving. I myself am a bit obsessed with our portfolio presentation and find myself updating it at least once a month with new and exciting projects. The best piece of advice I can give you is to choose images that would be most impactful to a potential client, not the ones that are just your favorite. Whether you are a new photographer or an experienced one looking to enter a new product market, you will need to consider taking on projects below your ideal price range. Business isn't always about making the most amount of money possible. In fact, a good old-fashioned barter may drive in more revenue over time. Let me use our business as an example. Before Ryan joined me on this amazing photography journey, I started out taking some pretty wild pictures. I absolutely loved overusing props and creating images that made a statement. However, one day we had a discussion and decided that it was time to take mainstream multimedia in a different direction. We wanted to dive into the world of skincare and start creating more sophisticated images. I want to clarify that there is a stunning beauty in the bold images I used to create, but I just wanted something new. And so, we started pitching our services to brands and offered to take a few free images in exchange for product, which led us to capture these images. We then used these images to redesign our portfolio. This was honestly the best move we had ever made for our business. Since this was simply an exchange of services, we got to freely style images however we wanted with no briefs. This creative freedom gave us the opportunity to build a client base that we absolutely love. I no longer drooled over other photographers' skincare images, waiting for the day that a brand inquires, because I went out and made it happen. But what kind of brands would be willing to gift free products? Honestly, most brands would jump at the opportunity to have free, engaging content created for them. We've had free products gifted to us from brands with less than 10,000 followers and brands with over 100,000 followers. We have found that brands with 5 to 10,000 followers are the most personal and open to beneficial collaborations. These brands are usually run by one person who understands the value of professional images but may not be able to afford them yet. Because of this, they are often the easiest to barter with. At the end of the day, don't overthink pitching your services to brands. Just try to get out there and go for it. On day 4, we will be breaking down the formula that has landed us nearly $20,000 from simple Instagram pitches. For now, let's gear up for day 3, designing branding that sells. To begin day 3, I'd like to ask a common question. Does your follower count affect your business income? Not necessarily. Let's break it down. To make 6 figures a year, you need to bring in roughly $8,333 a month for 12 months. If one brand can bring you $1,500 a project, then you only need to complete 5.5 projects a month. That's not even 2 shoots a week. To look at it differently, if your goal is to do 2 to 3 shoots a week, that is 8 to 12 shoots a month. This means you need to make $700 to $1,000 per project. So, if you only need 8 to 12 clients a month, why do you have to have 10,000 followers? The answer is you don't. Also, you are not an influencer. Brands are not hiring you based on your follower count. They only care about the quality of your work. As long as your Instagram showcases your work in a visually appealing way that resonates with brands, then you're good to go. The key to connecting with brands is to make yourself feel familiar. This means matching your branding with your target audience, similarly to what we did with your portfolio. If your goal is to take pictures of bold, youthful brands with fun props, then you need a strong, electrifying logo that pops. Alternatively, if you prefer clean, cosmetic brands, then your logo should be simple and timeless. If there's anything I learned as a marketing graduate, it's branding makes everything taste better. Just look at McDonald's. Here's a comparison of what our logo used to look like versus what it is now. From just our logo alone, you can see a complete shift in clientele that we focused on. From the color palette, font size, and extra assets, we simplified our branding to give a more luxurious feel. To help you do the same, we've put together a template of over 20 free brand logos that you can customize depending on your style. Inside, you'll find a mix of minimal, creative, and simple logos that can all be edited inside Canva. Click the link in the drop down below this video to start tailoring one for your brand. If you don't have a Canva account already, it's 100% free to sign up and start designing. Once you've created your logo, download it as a PNG to start using it on your website, socials, and client packets. It's no secret that brands value working with professional photographers over freelancers, so be sure to present yourself accordingly. We also recommend using words like my team instead of I and my office instead of home. For example, if your studio is in your home like ours and a client has a request, you could say, we will send that over as soon as we get home later. But you should say, I'll have my team send this over when I return to the office this afternoon. If you refer to yourself as a bigger, more established company, clients will respect you like one. Perception can play a big role in your business's success. However, be sure that you don't mix perception with deception. Here are a few more ways to enhance the credibility of your business and attract more clients. Social media presence. Maintain active and professional profiles on social media platforms relevant to your niche. You do not need to post every single day, but like your portfolio, you should be updating it with your most relevant work. Professional email addresses. Use a custom email address like yourname@yourbusinessname.com instead of a generic email provider like yourname@gmail.com. This not only adds credibility, but also helps to reinforce your brand. Client contracts and invoices. Use professional contracts and invoices that reflect your branding. This reinforces the perception of a legitimate and organized business. Continued education and skill development, just like you're doing in this free course right now. Once your logo, website layout, font choices, and everything in between blend seamlessly, you're ready to start rolling in clients. On day 4, we'll dive into our refined social media strategy designed to attract and retain clients more effectively. Instagram has been the #1 source of almost all of our client projects. Since we are a visual company, we capitalize on the app's visual appeal to sell our services. But what if I told you that posting consistently every day is not our strategy for getting clients? Instead, we've designed our portfolio to emulate the brands we want to work with. So let me break it down for you, starting with the logo. As you know, we prefer working with skincare brands that favor minimal styling, juicy macros, and neutral tones. They often have soft, dainty logos that reflect that style, and so we've matched our logo with what they like. We also know that they don't like noisy images, so we post projects in increments of 3 on Instagram. This helps make our feed less chaotic and feel more like a story. It also shows brands that we are capable of creating diverse stories specific to every brand and don't just provide cookie-cutter images. And so, I will revisit the statement I made earlier. Instagram is not about posting consistently every day. It's about having enough content for a brand to understand your capabilities. And now you're probably thinking, how do brands find you if you're not dedicated to posting every day? Well, we do not rely on organic leads to supplement our income. Instead, we found a handful of brands on Instagram whose packaging and style we love, and we pitched our services to them via DMs. And because we intentionally designed our branding, portfolio, and overall style to align perfectly with theirs, they were ready to immediately hire us. I don't literally mean that every brand is going to instantly hire you, but if you only need a handful of clients to make a few grand, then this strategy becomes foolproof. To prove to you how valuable Instagram is, here is a breakdown of how much we've made from brands we pitched to on the platform in the last 6 months. We pitched to nearly 200 brands, and of everyone we pitched to, 6 said yes. This means that we had a 3% conversion rate. With a good conversion rate typically falling between 2 to 5%, I'd say I'm quite happy with that number. After collaborating with 6 brands that said yes to us, we made $18,475 in the past 6 months, which includes our first project and additional projects they hired us for. This number does not include upcoming projects or work we've acquired since sharing these projects online. Knowing that it only takes 1 hour to pitch to 10 to 20 brands, it took less than a month for us to acquire a new batch of clients. From this point, mixed with brands that said yes and the inquiries we received after sharing these projects, there was no need for us to pitch to more brands. You shouldn't have to pitch all the time to get new clients. You should spend a couple of days or weeks pitching, depending on your schedule, land a few clients, and use that work to make content and drive organic leads. Here's a screenshot of our 2023 income graph to show you exactly what happened organically in our business after landing just 6 hand-picked clients. In the beginning of 2023, we moved to a new state and underwent a bit of traveling, which put our business in a bad position. This is when we decided to rebrand and change our business strategy and no longer just sit back waiting for inquiries. Once we got the hamster wheel of projects rolling, the business began to self-sustain itself. I like to think of pitching as a defibrillator. It's meant to give your business a boost towards organic growth, and because the work you are sharing was created for clients that you hand-selected, it will attract the exact clientele you want to work with. It also makes creating Instagram Reels less of a hassle because you're actually passionate about the images that you're creating. Again, you don't need to share every single day on social media, you just need to share a couple times a month to keep your profile active and up to date. So what does our legendary pitching process look like? Ultimately, it's broken down into 5 simple steps. We start by pinpointing up-and-coming brands using a keyword strategy on Instagram. Next, we craft and deliver a tailored pitch. From there, it's all about sharing your skills and experience through a detailed proposal and media kit. We follow up with a creative pitch deck, but honestly, by this stage, most brands are eager to dive right into a project with us. Finally, we formalize things with a contract and boom, you've got yourself a new client. I know this process might sound a little overwhelming, but once you set up your templates and design your client onboarding packets, this process becomes seamless, meaning you can pitch to 20, 30, or even 40 brands in a single day and it'll feel like autopilot. I would love to dive deeper into every detail of the pitching process, including how to find brands most likely to work with you, exactly what to say to them, and most importantly, hand over all 3 client packets so you don't have to lift a finger. I promise we will touch further on this pitching process in the bonus section of the course. Now that we know the outline of our strategy to get clients rolling in, on day 5, we'll explore what you should be charging based on your skill level and how to maximize your income. It's important to understand your photography skill level to determine what price range you should be charging in. We have beginner, intermediate, and pro. Each level is based on equipment, experience, and editing skills. Roughly 70% of product photographers classify as beginners, 20% classify as intermediate, and the remaining 10% classify as pros. Beginners typically charge $20 to $50 per photo, $150 to $500 per project, and $50 to $100 hourly. Intermediates typically charge $50 to $100 per photo, $500 to $1,500 per project, and $100 to $200 hourly. Pros typically charge $100 plus per photo, $1,500 to $5,000 plus per project, and $200 to $500 plus hourly. Now that you know what price range you should be charging within, how do you price your work on the higher end of your skill range? As mentioned at the start of the course, there are 2 ways to make more money: get more clients or charge more. Clearly, charging more is the most ideal way to maximize your income without sacrificing your personal time. After all, one of the best benefits of being self-employed is owning your time. When brands hire a photographer, they are investing in a service. The final image is simply the end result of that service. So if you improve the quality of your service, you are improving the value your customers receive, and an increase in value justifies an increase in service price. This is known as value-based pricing. You determine the value of your work and price accordingly with each project. Consider this scenario. A skincare brand approaches you for a photo shoot. Instead of sending them a sheet with a list of your rates, take a moment to understand their goals. Are they launching a new product? Do they have a specific aesthetic in mind? By addressing these aspects, you are not only negotiating a fair price, but you'll also position yourself as a valuable partner. An easy way to do this is by simply sending them a brand questionnaire, gathering all of the information you need so you can accurately price their project. This is actually why a lot of photographers feel stuck in their businesses and struggle to raise their prices. A service-based business is a service from start to finish. The value of the actual photo is also related to the value of your customer service. So when discussing prices with a brand, instead of solely discussing the cost, emphasize how your expertise, quality, attention to detail, turnaround times, and additional services can contribute to achieving their desired outcomes and business goals. By highlighting the value they will receive, the expertise they can expect, and the potential return on investment they will make, you can create a stronger case for pricing your services higher. But how can you add more value to your services? The most obvious way is to offer exceptional customer experiences. Brands value photographers who treat them as an equal and keep them in the loop. This includes clear communication, prompt responses, and personalized attention. Testimonials and reviews are another great way to prove the value you've delivered to past clients. Having these showcased on your welcome packet and on your website help to build trust. After all, social proof has some of the highest conversion rates of any other marketing tactic in the industry. If possible, try educating your clients to help them understand the value of professional photography and the impact that it can have on their brand's image and success. As mentioned earlier, one of the most powerful ways to increase your perceived business value is how your brand looks. Invest in your brand's visual identity, website, and marketing materials to convey professionalism and credibility. This is why we strongly encourage using pre-made templates everywhere you can in your business. Not only does it make your workflow more effective, it also makes your branding more consistent, and brands find handouts to be very professional. Remember, the key to charging more for your product photography services lies in understanding and effectively communicating the value that you can provide your clients. By focusing on delivering exceptional customer experiences and emphasizing the unique benefits of working with you, you can confidently command higher rates and maximize your revenue potential, regardless of your skill level and equipment. By now, you've seen exactly how we went from struggling photographers to landing high-paying clients consistently, and more importantly, how you can do the same. I hope you're starting to see how achievable this really is when you have the right systems in place. To make your life easier, we built a full library of plug-and-play digital templates designed to help photographers like you book clients, stay organized, and get paid better. Inside, you'll find everything we personally use to run our six-figure studio, from brand questionnaires and shot lists to our exact pitch templates that tell you what to say when reaching out to brands online. These templates take all the guesswork out of writing cold emails, DMs, and follow-ups, giving you word-for-word scripts that actually get responses. You also have the option of contracts, invoices, and welcome packets that make you look professional from the first message to the final delivery. For full access, click the link in the description below to explore our full range of digital templates and grab the tools that'll help you stand out and get hired by your dream brands. If you enjoyed this free mini course, subscribe to catch behind-the-scenes walkthroughs of real client projects. Again, my name is Brittany, and thanks for watching.